Oh.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, Sahara, ¿cómo estás?
Speaking of now, it's real.
This is
Aquí
real.
el producer quiere saber cómo fue que llegamos
A este
aquí,
punto.
a este punto de que ahora tenemos un podcast. Entonces les vamos a platicar un poquito de cómo llegamos a este punto y cómo fue que se nos ocurrió la idea. Entonces,
You want to start? I'm starting. Okay.
What sparked the idea?
What sparked the idea between Sahara and I? Okay, let's go back. Before the Mariscos Day, did we ever talk about this before?
yes, we did one time. We talked about this one time before. I think we were just out
And we had mentioned it?
We were out talking y yo creo que estábamos, era cuando fuimos a las hamburguesas. We went to downtown LA and then, was it downtown LA?
I don't remember. We
went somewhere, but we went to estábamos comiendo hamburguesas y tuvimos una buena plática. And then I was like, oh, we should start a podcast.
We had like a good conversation, huh?
We were on our way back home and we just had a very good conversation. Y luego le
About
dije, hey, well, we should start a podcast. And then Patty was like, I'm down.
I did say I'm down. The thought of having a podcast was brought up to me other times before, like by other people. But it's not that easy. Like now that we're doing it, it's, I see how it works between you and I because we do get to see each other all the time because we work together and we're here. Yeah, but
it is difficult.
It's not as easy as people make it seem. I mean, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more comfortable talking, but it's not easy. But then, so then we had kind of like I guess the seed had been planted, right? Like weeks prior.
Tuvimos esa conversación y dijimos, pues, okay,
That would be
deberíamos
cool. That would be
y ya
something.
pasaron como, ¿qué? 2 meses.
No.
It was
it was a while.
Yes.
Oh,
Pasaron
damn.
como unos 2-3 meses,
Okay.
And then
I remember we went out.
went out.
And Sahara got me drunk. And she twisted my arm. No, I'm just kidding.
I did. Okay, so we were out, estábamos comiendo mariscos y
Yes.
empezamos a tomar y luego pues estaba ahí.
And we had the musicals playing for us. And I just want you guys to know
we were just
that
partying. We were
music,
partying.
live music makes me so happy.
She was happy.
Don
Estaba
Julio,
contenta.
The trio, and I was just like, oh,
She
¿qué
was
más quiero en la vida?
loving life, right? Entonces estábamos ahí, estaba yo ahí tomando y luego dije, fuck, yo creo que ahorita es el momento
Que no se raja.
to bring it up again, I was like, I'm going to bring it up again. Like, I'm going to tell her, like, hey, so what's up? Are we
doing this?
Are we going
or
to
no?
start this podcast or not? Porque la primera vez que se lo comenté, dijo, sí, busca los mics.
Oh, look for the stuff. El microondas.
She's like, look up the stuff, y quién sé qué. Entonces, yo obviamente luego en chinga lo busqué. Entonces, that night at the marisco spot, la vi bien contenta y dije, ¿sabes qué? Voy a aprovechar.
This is it. This is my chance.
Entonces, I brought it up. I was like, hey, Patty, so what's up? Are we going to do the podcast or not? And then she was like,
I was like, yeah.
you're like, yeah, right now. And like, here.
So
Agarré las cosas. And I was just like, neta.
So in that moment, I was like, yes, let's do it. And obviously,
Yeah. She was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, perfect.
Okay.
Like, I found this. And then she was like...
And I was like, oh,
o sea,
damn,
yo
like,
ya
you're
tenía todo
ready.
listo. Yeah.
She's like, oh, I found the packet. It has this, boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, oh, shit. Like,
I was ready for it.
You did your research.
I was ready.
And then she's like, yeah. And obviously, we're sponsored by Patel's Tax.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out the business card and I was like, fuck it, order it. And then she's holding onto the card for a minute. And she's like, Are you sure? Are you sure?
Like, we're going to do this. Like, are you sure you want to do this?
And I was like, do it now before
like,
I change my mind.
And then pues dije, oh my gosh, like, I think this is
happening.
I was like, okay, pues agarré el teléfono y dije.
Y ya empieza, she's like, what?
And I was just like, okay, Patty. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, confirmation email. Y fue confirmado que, pues, okay. Entonces ya compramos las cosas y nos llegaron.
So boxes started coming into the office, and then I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
And then I was like, she was like, what is this? And I was like, it's a podcast stuff. And then she was just like, oh my God. Entonces, I think they were sitting there for like a good 2-3 days.
Yeah, it was, well, I think everything was coming in like sections.
Separado, yeah.
Yeah. So eventually.
Once I knew everything was in, I was like, okay, now it's time to open it up.
And she started setting it up.
And I started setting it up. I stayed after work one day. I was like,
and it was becoming a reality.
And then nos llegó un milagro.
Un milagro de Dios. Okay, so then when all the wires were coming out, I was like, I'm like, I don't know like where to start or how to put it together, or we're little lost children.
I mean, I think I did a good job.
And she did good, but we wanted video to capture it because obviously, people need to see us, right? So then I was like, let me get it my friend. And ahí viene el milagro de Dios. Eddie came in and he's right here, writing this wave with us.
It's crazy. It's a crazy wave. Entonces, así empezamos. Ya nos empezó a ayudar
to set it up and
to set up,
get our camera.
Well, we started with his camera, which was like
perfection.
Chulada.
Yes. Puro Creative Productions right here.
Okay, yes. Ahorita.
So now that we're recording and now that this is happening, how do you feel, Sahara?
Is it
what you imagined? Was it everything you thought it was gonna be? Do you love it?
Oh my God. I do love it. I love it, but okay, so it's definitely what I imagined.
Okay.
Plus some.
Okay.
Because of the help that we have, I feel
the help really comes in clutch, honestly.
Yeah, it makes it feel more real to the point where
and the pressure,
we're taking it serious
on,
because we have everything
we need
that
in order to be successful.
Some people don't have when they first start, So I just feel like it's what I imagined plus, it's what I imagined with maybe a year of experience or a year of already doing it. So it's like us starting, it already feels like a year of it because of
how we're running.
Yeah.
Well.
So it's gives me an adrenaline,
you're
I'm like, I want to do more. Yeah, quiero más.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, what about you? Is it what you imagined or what did you imagine?
I'm trying to run out of here.
It hasn't been also just fun and games,
No, honestly, I didn't realize how hard it is because you have to really expose yourself. You have to really just let it all out. You have to stop caring about how you look or, this or that, or, you just have to really I don't know. It's not as easy as it looks. I honestly give a lot of credibility to those people that do this and do it. They make it look like it's fun. Like you're just jumping on here and you're yeah, let's just fucking cheese me out and talk. But you don't realize that you being on here, you're criticizing everything, like how you're looking, your movimientos,
literally, you're looking at
what you're saying, and then you're worried about fuck, no quiero ofender a alguien. All of that runs through my mind, especially because of in the industry I'm in. I have a lot of stories to tell, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to have drama. 2, no quiero ofender a alguien. So it's I hold back a little bit. But then at the same time, I'm like, pues who cares,
O sea, no estamos diciendo ni nombres.
Yeah, but it's not just that. I'm sure people want to hear more about us or how we got here or
I mean, just other people's experiences in general,
So it's not. I have fun with it. I like it, but it is not something that I'm just I don't know.
I'm sure it gets some getting used to. I'm sure other people who've also started a podcast at some point felt the same way, Just
it's nerve-wracking themselves. And then I think eventually you're just
donde dices ay, pues te vale verga lo que opinen, you're just expressing yourself however. Porque yo siempre pienso que, o sea, por ejemplo,
What?
Yo cuando veo algo en el internet doy mi opinión and then I keep scrolling. So I move
And then you
on,
forget.
you know,
Yeah.
I forget. So then I me lo metí a la cabeza de que
That's how people are with us.
gente
Like
va a
they're not
opinar.
stuck on it.
Yeah,
The
like
way
they're not
we get
thinking
stuck
about
on
it all day.
Yes.
You know, like we're the ones thinking about it all day because it's us, you know. But like
Yes.
they see it and they're like, "Ay, qué tontas," and they keep going, you
And
know,
then they
and
move on
like
to the next.
yeah, and they're not
This is true. This is
thinking
true.
about it. So it's like yo acepté que pues gente va a tener sus opiniones y pues at the end of the day, like
We just gotta roll
life
with
goes
it.
on. Yeah, like
Yeah. But I am having fun, and honestly, I'm grateful that we have help because, I mean, I think it sets
we
the
would've
tone for
probably
our
been-
podcast, and
we would have probably still been like on episode 2.
1, and it would have not been published, and we would have been
I'd
like,
been, like, so disappointed.
return the boxes.
No, I'd been like, sorry, Patty, then I guess I'm just gonna have to find someone else.
Qué tristeza.
Like I'll give you.
You're gonna replace me?
No, never.
Wow.
But it's definitely been fun. I'm enjoying
has
it. I'm learning a lot of new stuff. A lot of new, like con la tecnología.
Yeah, this
O
is
sea,
a whole different
porque-
ballgame.
Lots of impact there.
Yeah, so it's definitely has not been easy. There's a lot to doing the whole podcast thing, you know.
Yeah.
As far as you know, tienes que buscar o sea, tiene que haber una rutina de que viernes grabamos,
Then you have to
domingo,
edit, and then you
edit, doing all that work, and then release dates. So and
Yes.
then there has to be like a consistency to it too, you know. So staying on top of that.
It's honestly, this is like a whole
another
other
thing
job.
that like that's another thing that I didn't know came with podcasting, with like starting a podcast, you know. I thought
Yeah.
it was you come in thinking you're just gonna sit and like
film and talk,
film,
and it looks
talk.
fun.
But there's a whole, you know, you got to
Back
plan
end.
what you're going to talk about. You're going to have to plan, you know.
And then you have to do the little clips, and then you have to release them on Instagram, and then you need to get a following.
Then you got to like think about what time to release a clip, because
Yeah.
there's certain times where
There's more people on their phone, and
right, like at nighttime when people are just laying scrolling, or you know. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to think about too when it comes to.
yes,
And y
yes,
pues
yes.
sí, it's been something that like it's not easy.
It's not
Looking
easy.
at it like it was setting this up,
But now
was
it's
not
a reality.
It wasn't easy, but honestly, I feel like I'm loving it. It's like
And I'm excited. I'm excited because I
mean-
think 2-3 years ago, if you would have asked me, Patty, do you see yourself doing a podcast? I would have been like, hell no. You know, it just,
Yeah.
it would, it was out of the question. Like, it, you know, because of my life, because of everything. And it's just crazy how things happen. And I don't know. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
I had actually brought the idea up like to 2 other girls one time. O sea, separate times. One time I asked one girl and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm down." Blah blah blah. And we never did it, you know.
Yeah.
Y luego otra muchacha. "Oh yeah, we're down. Let's do it," you know.
Yeah.
Y nunca lo hicimos. Pero, I mean, maybe there just wasn't that.
I don't.
Well, like
I
you
think
said,
it's,
like,
it's
it's-
hard because
it's-
I was also it was brought up to me by another person, and yes, I was more than willing to do the podcast with her, and I think it would have been great too. But it's really hard because you have to make time. Like the
different
time
schedules,
yeah, and it's you know, if you don't have
And
the
then-
time for it and you're not gonna dedicate to it, it's gonna be almost impossible.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And
We're
there's
making-
also
we're
like,
making it
you know,
happen.
and it's not, you can't just start it with just anybody because like I said, I'm not saying these other 2 people I brought it up to were just anybody's, but they weren't like girls that I had like a very, very, very close connection to, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And then we have many conversations when
have-
we're like, damn, we should have recorded this.
we have a
Yeah.
lot of good conversations, but not just that, like, o sea, hay una amistad, you know,
Yes.
like you can't just
We
say,
have-
hey, tú y yo,
Let's
vamos
do
a
it.
empezar un
Vamos a
podcast,
hacer
and like ni lo conozco tan bien, you know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like we know each other enough to the point where we're like, okay, yeah, I feel like
We can
It would
vibe. We
work,
can make
yeah.
it. We can make it happen.
so you just, you know, the right person.
This is like a relationship. So It really is. I mean, think about it. You have to learn how to work together and you have to talk to each other. And
Neta, sí,
días
sí,
que-
hay momentos donde pues te fastidias, you know, because you're
Yeah.
like, you come up with, like, o sea, like I said, like, you have to come up with topics, you know, and you have to come up
Yes.
with, like, certain things to talk about for the podcast. And, like, when,
we're not on the same page, we're like, what the fuck? What are we
yeah,
talking
sometimes we're
about?
not on the same page. Or sometimes, obviously, like, you're a little more busy, so it's, like, you
Yes.
can't really, like,
I am a little busy. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed a
but,
little
like,
bit
it's just, like,
about,
a little, like,
tax
okay,
season.
like,
But I'm hoping that this next month we can keep doing this more so that when we have to do it during tax season,
well, yeah, that's the plan.
I'm just jumping in and I'm like, hey guys, and then I gotta go back out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
So do you overall in general feel good about it?
Overall, in general, I feel good. I do enjoy it. It's fun. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback, especially from like clients or friends, and they do ask me certain stuff. They're like, "Why don't you talk about this? Why don't you we want to hear more?" And it's crazy to think like, damn, like people that know me are actually watching it, and sometimes they're like, "Dinos más," and I'm just like, I'm scared. Like I'm scared to talk a lot about my personal life. But not because of what people are gonna say, but just because of like I don't want to talk like, well, one, because it's your brother and I don't want to talk about it, like be talking shit. And then, you know, or like I don't know, and then or like my business, and I'm just like, I don't know if people really want to hear that, you know. But it is cool, you know. Like we went to the first Regida concert, and I bumped into my clients, and they're like, "Oh, we've been seeing your podcast," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, that's cool." So
that's really nice.
I like it. I am enjoying this. Maybe con el tiempo voy a hablar más and
Sí,
tell
a
you
mí
guys
me
more
da
about me.
adrenalina. Yo quiero que, o sea,
She just wants to be behind the camera all day. Every day. Anywhere we
No.
go, she's like filming, and I'm like,
I know. I mean, lately I've been doing it a little bit more. I have to
Yeah,
get
no,
used
but
to
that's
it,
good.
you know,
Yeah,
but
we'll take people behind the scenes, behind our shenanigans.
yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, I like it. I enjoy it. It's not something that like you just brought up and I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll do it. Like it was in the back of my mind because I had talked about it with other people. I also enjoy watching podcasts and I think it's fun.
What other podcasts do you watch?
There is one that's called I can't even say it. It's Hangeo. It's a couple and they're just so funny and they're just talking shit to each other and she makes fun of him a lot. And nomás andan cotorreando and it's just, I don't know, like it's pretty funny. And I like to watch a lot of comedy too. And that's just, you know, me entretengo yo sola y yo sola me ando riendo. And I'm
No
happy.
sola, porque es con los del podcast, obvio.
Yeah, but you know, I enjoy it. Like anything
Yeah.
that has to do with comedy, I like to watch. I also listen to a lot of podcasts about like murder mysteries or like la gente que, you know, desapareció. But then I get frustrated because then I don't know what happens to them. They're missing and, you know.
Yeah, rara.
Yeah, I'm a little weird.
I don't like watching that stuff.
No,
Eso
there
sí da
was
miedo.
and there was a minute where I would listen to it on the night before going to sleep. But then I started panicking and I started thinking like, damn, like what if somebody comes and steals my daughter in the middle of the night? Because that's what I was hearing, stories. So I stopped doing that because I wasn't sleeping.
Pero ustedes tienen
Yeah.
you guys have the
The fire rejas or something. I don't know what they're called.
something.
Yeah, but yeah, nobody can come into the house. But still, I was still getting paranoid.
Yeah, pues.
But
I'd be
yeah,
paranoid
I
too.
mean, it seems cool. But you don't realize, you know, like the work that it takes behind it. Which is why
And the imagination.
I'm happy.
There's a lot of.
What do you consume? As far as-
Drugs.
What are you talking about? What?
content.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
what do
just
I
kidding.
consume as far as content? Pues yo miro los de el de Acá Entre Nos. Ese es un podcast que me gusta ver. Y también me gusta uno que se llama Real Alucin. Shout out to you guys. Ese está chingón. Y luego uno de ¿cómo se llama el que te mandé?
La plática? No.
Starts with the T.
I don't remember.
Telemundo.
No.
Primer impacto. That's what we like to watch, and we get all our noticias from.
It's another one. Ya se me olvidó el nombre. Pero I do have like a
Like
2,
certain
3
that you like?
Yeah.
I get a little sidetracked with work and stuff, but I like to listen to them more than watch.
Yo los miro en la mañana cuando me estoy arreglando.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, I have my mirror right there. My TV's back here. So I'm, like, getting ready and watching through the, through the espejo. So that's what works for me.
Está bien, está bien.
Or, like, when I'm home alone. It's the best.
All right. Sounds good.
What
Yeah.
are the things
My
that...
shoulders are hurting. I'm, like, fucking getting stressed out here.
Really?
A little, no, I'm fine.
It's because you just need to sit back, relax, be
So
chill.
I took a shot. Hold on, I gotta make sure nothing's going on. Okay. Uh-huh. Did you do drugs before this? Yes.
No.
So Hannah's way more chill. She's on a good one right now.
No,
And
no,
I am
no.
not.
No hice drogas. Please. Mota no es droga, okay?
So you're stressed or nervous?
No, I'm fine.
She's nerviosa.
No, I think right now I have a lot going on in my personal life, so it's affecting my mood.
You're tense.
Yeah.
You're tense.
That's what it is.
You just have a lot on your mind. You're just like,
Yeah. Like there's just a lot on my back
that's how you
end.
feel like you constantly have to check your phone because there's just a lot going on. Like,
A little bit. No, I just that's fine.
When people tell you that they want to hear more, what is more? About what?
I don't know.
You're just not ready to say.
No, I mean, not that I'm not ready. I just don't know how to start, or I don't want to be all like talking about myself. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I mean, that's what
It is to talk about me.
about
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. And then
I mean,
another question that I get a lot is like, how am I doing this with Sara? Like that is like the number one question where it's like
yeah.
como, because
I
it's
mean-
like this is my ex cuñada, you know. And I'm just like it's hard for like, how do I tell you that story because it's so long,
well,
you know?
let's tell it. I mean, so
And I think
do you
that's
feel weird about the fact? Do you feel weird
to have the podcast with you?
with Do you
no,
think
I
it's
don't feel
like-
weird because
Do you feel uncomfortable or do you feel like?
I feel like this is a therapy session.
No, I mean,
No.
because I'm pretty sure people just want to know, you know, like.
No, I think people are intrigued by it because
I mean, and they probably want to know how I feel too. like, how do I feel like that? You know, I'm doing a podcast with my brother's
I'm sure it's
ex-wife,
hard. Like,
you know, it's
yeah, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to be talking so much shit. Like, I do try to refrain from talking crap about him because at the end of the day, you know, it's your brother. And I'm the one that chose to date him, so that's my problem.
So,
but people, I think, do wonder.
Do you regret starting this podcast with me?
Oh my God, no, don't say that. What the fuck? No, of course not. This is, I'm excited. I like the podcast.
Do you feel comfortable talking to me?
Yes. I feel more comfortable talking to you when the camera's not watching me. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we do have like obviously deeper conversations because we get more in detalle.
Yeah, because it's
Pero-
like, you know, there's no cameras
But-
rolling. But then right after that, I'm like, damn, like that would have been a good story. So yeah. How do we get here? How do you feel?
I feel it's a little nerve-wracking, you know, because this is so fresh. Like whatever is going on between you guys, it's like
Because it's
pretty
still,
fresh.
yeah, it's like, yeah.
So it's a little like nerve-wracking o sea, en la forma de que pues alguna gente se puede ofender or like, you know, but you know, at the end of the day, like cada quien, this is, you know,
Yeah.
o sea,
I mean, it's not like I feel like our relationship evolved a lot more after. Like when I was with your brother, yeah, we got along. Things were cool,
Yeah,
but we couldn't really how can I
Yeah,
explain
o
it?
sea-
We couldn't really, I felt like you didn't really get to know who I really was until after.
not just that, like I wouldn't even tell you as much stuff as I do now. O sea, antes no te decía andaba ya.
Oh yeah,
peda,
yeah.
toda pinche,
Yeah,
you
like
know,
I mean, you were very reserved, and I was
Yeah.
just literally complaining about my life. Like I wasn't happy for a long time. So it's not like our relationship now has always been what it is. And if I wouldn't have gotten, a divorce, we wouldn't be here. That's the reality. And it took a long time, I think, to get here. Like, I want to say from the moment, I decided that I wanted to get a separation to now, it's been over a year. To the point where even
so it's been a year of us building this.
Yeah, and even in the beginning of this
fresh,
year, it's fresh.
I mean, we've known each other for a long, long time.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I baptized your son. Like, we obviously had a close relationship, a different type of relationship, while I was married with him.
Yeah, it was still a good one because todo bien.
But now it has but now it has evolved to a different dynamic where it's we get to go out and we have fun and we could talk about anything and it's nice, because I think it's hard to find girls that you can vibe with.
Yeah, neta.
And
I don't really vibe with a lot of. I mean, yo me llevo bien con todos.
Yeah. So do I, but it's
si no
not.
Me caen, I just keep my distance,
Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean,
yeah, and people.
Shit.
Just kidding.
Overall, en general, ha sido una buena experiencia. Todo esto, lo del podcast, como les dije, pues he aprendido muchas cosas. I feel like I've been on, watching a screen for too long, que ahora ya necesito lentes extra potentes con todo el editing, but
you need a Blu-ray glasses.
I need those blue light
glasses.
Actually, my work neighbors gave me a pair, so I do have those. Pero sí, o sea, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Let's dive in a little bit on that. Have you edited anything prior to doing podcasts, or did you learn everything while doing podcasts?
Okay, so prior to editing podcasts, did I edit before that?
Videos, yeah.
La neta no. O sea, maybe just personal videos on TikTok or Instagram.
Little clips for yourself.
O sea, personal stuff, yeah. Pero así de que
a whole 45
todo, no, yeah, I've never done that. So a lot of that I did learn along the way, A lot of it's new to me too. So I feel like I've definitely learned bastante. O sea, yo creo que esta soy ya professional.
Yeah, Sara is the
Me
one.
siento professional editor. Te lo juro, llevo como con una bolsota llena de computadoras.
Yes.
It's a whole,
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, yeah.
I just get here. I just show up. I'm here for entertainment.
It's fun. El primero sí estuvo un poquito más estresante porque fue donde empecé a aprender cómo editar.
The first one?
Yeah, the first video for sure. Pero ya como que la voy agarrando la onda. It's been, y pues sí, o sea,
I forgot what we're talking about. From one day to the next.
Well, because you wanted to, right? So that gives you a little bit more of
There was drive. I mean, I could, yes. Sara, I could tell that she was just like, I need to figure this out. I want to get the clips. I want, so I was like, go for it. Tú dale, mija.
Yeah, there was definitely drive. O sea, no la pensé tanto before we started doing the podcast. I didn't really think too much of
what it was going to take.
How difficult it would be to do the editing and o sea, no te lo imaginas que vas a tener que tener, como dije, un schedule, consistency of work, No me lo esperaba, pero I forgot what I was saying.
She lost her train of thought.
I lost my train of thought.
That you had motivation.
Oh, yeah, I had motivation. No
and you were
pensaba.
excited.
Yeah, I didn't imagine how tedious it would be, but I'm getting the hang of it and I'm enjoying the process. I definitely don't think it's something that just anyone can do, the editing.
Yeah.
O sea,
I just know how to cut a little clip if it's in my phone. That's it.
Just like the ends, like
yeah,
the last
like,
two sides, the first and the end.
We don't need the end? Okay, I could do that. And
Yeah,
that's not my
definitely,
specialty.
I love it. Honestly, I feel like quiero más, o sea,
That's good. I'm excited. I'm glad somebody's enjoying that part because I don't have time to edit.
it's very time consuming for sure. Como dije, pero it's cool.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
It's cool. Lo que no me gusta, something I don't like about the podcast is let's talk about the downs.
What don't you like?
Is it like the downside of it? Downfalls or down?
I don't like watching it. Honestly, it takes me a minute to watch.
Yeah. I don't like. Oh no, no es que no me guste, because I do like it. But it's just a little on the stressful side. Planning pues las pláticas, because
We don't know what to talk about.
yeah, like, I feel like that's probably like kind of like the hard part of it.
Yeah, because one, we don't know what people want to hear, and two, sometimes we're like,
So let us
too
know.
reservadas. We're like, do we tell that story? Do we not? And we're like, forget it.
Yeah, we're like,
So
let's
we need to
just
stop
not.
being little bitches.
I think we were that you
Bitches?
No.
No. What?
That you don't like watching it.
Hideous.
It's hard for me to watch the podcast because I'm watching myself.
like you double think it,
and I'm
you,
analyzing everything,
yeah,
from
and
the
then you're
moment
just like, no me gusta eso, yeah, y luego pues you just want
Yeah.
to copy everything out. But
yes. But at the same time, I'm learning to I'm telling myself that no one's really criticizing it the way I am. No one's really thinking like,
o sea, porque tú te estás criticando tú sola, like
yeah.
tú
And
misma,
at the
like,
end of the day, we are our
it's
own
just like
biggest
we're
critics.
not used to like seeing ourselves from the camera's point of view, or from like the
Yeah,
screen's
for
point
sure.
of view, or audience.
Well, I'll even say
POV,
this much. I remember the first time I met up with Eddie to film here at the office for a Christmas party. I don't know if you remember this, but he asked me like, "Do you want me to film you, or do you want to say anything, or do you want to do anything?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "Hell no." So for me to be here now, where I'm literally
Like a little more comfortable.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
that's true.
took time, and I'm thankful that Eddie came along, because there was many different events where I would hire him, and it was like, okay, fine, I'll do a little quick clip now, or like it took time for me to get comfortable with the camera, because it's not easy.
It's not.
And then when we did the whole Top Golf, like even the girls were a little nerviosas.
I think that was like my first time actually being kind of like
exposed
on the camera.
On
Yeah,
camera.
so that was a little nerve-wracking, but I feel
Yeah.
like
yeah, so I mean, it's hard, it's not easy. But I think the more we do it, the more it's just like, yeah, like, no valer madres, you can think whatever you want. You like it, you don't. It's all good. Almost next,
yeah,
That's
why I mean I have to watch it like at least
1,000 times
for the editing, but so that's been hard too, trying to get used to like your bad angles, or like your little shit that you do that you don't realize until like you're watching yourself.
You're like, I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned to accept that. That's just what I do on the daily, on the base. Like if I'm having a
like, pues así
normal
soy.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
o sea, ya me
Ya
me estoy acostumbrando a mí misma, quién soy.
All right.
So it's
all
also
right.
like, o sea, doing this whole podcasting, it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence throughout, your regular life. On the regular
upstairs.
Yeah, so it just gives you like that little boost of confidence too, to kind of like.
Yeah, and then it's also nice when we get positive feedback, and then you're like, okay, like this is going somewhere, or like we get we'll get another follower, and that's just like, oh, like like our page is growing, and
30 more, and we get 300.
So it feels like, okay, like we're doing something, like we're not just here and we only have like one person watching it. Like there's there is people out there listening and watching. I just hope it's not my kids. I'm happy people are watching, so make sure to tell your family, your friends, to follow us, to comment, to share our page, let people know about us.
Let us know what you guys want us
to talk about, or what do you want to hear from us.
Opinions. comment down below and just
Yes, yeah. We want to hear from our 30 followers.
You know,
what
I
they
feel like
want.
at some point I would want to know a little bit of our followers too, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like
to tell us their story.
Yeah. Maybe like you guys relate to a little bit of
What we're going through, what we're living.
Yeah.
All
That'd
right.
be cool. Anyway, but
Is it filming?
aside from that, guys, yeah.
Eddie just stepped out.
So let's roast
Let's
him
talk
now.
shit. Honestly, we would suck without Eddie. Eddie, please don't ever leave us.
But if you do, honestly, I'm learning a lot from Eddie.
Damn, so Sara's
at
like,
some point, hazme enojar. Y...
te vamos a la chingada.
Just kidding. No. Imagine. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Shh.
Anyway. But
Everything's good?
we got the food.
Yeah. We're gonna eat and talk shit.
I was gonna say that was fast because it's literally right here.
Yeah.
Yes, it's right there. As hard as this is, it's I enjoy when people like, you know, reach out to me and they're like, oh, you know, I saw your podcast.
Yeah.
Like when we went into the clients and they knew about it, or like, you know, my family, like everyone, you know, they're intrigued by what we're doing and they like it. They're like, keep it up. You know, it's nice to see that, because I'm overanalyzing myself and I'm over here thinking like, ¿qué estoy haciendo? You know?
Yeah.
But then
Just get that good feedback.
but people are like, no, it looks fun. Like you guys are funny, and I'm like, really? But I'm not that. And then I throw up.
But
This is what happens
you know,
when you eat hot Cheetos before you start talking, because my
that
stomach
red
is
40.
my stomach.
But you know, like that being said, you know, we appreciate the feedback, and we would
appreciate it if you guys
continue giving
comment,
us the
like, and share,
feedback.
follow. I love that follow button. Ding, where's it at?
somewhere. Ding.
Oh my God. Where are we going
where
at?
do you see this going?
Oh,
Like,
okay. Where do we see this? Honestly,
like, ¿qué te imaginas
the podcast?
con esto? O sea, ¿qué tan lejos
I have the
piensas que
perfect
vamos?
answer, because I already told Eddie. Honestly, I would, I think con el tiempo, I feel like, you know, I want the audience to get to know us a lot more and to really get to know who we are and like what we're about, and, you know, how, you know,
We're fun.
how we're a great time. But also, I think it would be nice to bring in other people and get to know them. You know, eventually, like, I don't want it to just be us talking, you know, nonsense all the time. Like, I do want, you know, to be able to tell more about who we are, like what has brought us here, like, or whatever people want to hear about,
Or
you know,
like,
our stories.
Get like mixed opinions. You know,
Yes.
not just
And then at the
ours.
same time, like, I would like to bring in other guests and we get to know them, you know, like what's their story? What are their struggles? What has made them who they are? So I think that would be cool. You know, whether it's other women that are like successful or people that are in the music industry that are just starting. Like, you know, everybody has a story or a story to tell.
Yeah.
And that's what I would want, you know, to bring more to the table.
Definitely. Me
And
too.
then también like cotorrear and, you know, talk about what's going on in life right now and life, todo eso.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
No,
Where
pues
do you
igual,
think that's
o sea,
going?
igual. O sea, es una de las ideas que,
Yeah.
you know, we did talk about. But aside from that, I see us being successful in this, you know? Like, that's the goal. At first, I feel like, para mí, pues, yo pensaba que era, bueno, no pensaba, porque todavía lo es, you know, something
Fun?
that we're doing for fun, you know?
Okay,
I'm not,
yeah.
I don't want to say I'm not expecting, but I also feel like I like it to the point where I would want it to reach a certain level, which is, o sea, where we have our YouTube plaque or something, you know, like I want to get, like, now I
Yeah.
feel like I have the adrenaline. I want that.
You
now.
want
like,
the
I
podcast to be known. You want it to blow up.
Yeah.
You want to
So I
walk
feel
around the
like-
street and they're like, Sara.
Tampoco tanto así, pero, o sea,
Dame tu
I do want to,
autógrafo.
like, I do,
No?
like,
Yes. It's okay,
o sea,
Sara. You can
I
tell
see
us.
it, now I see it as like
I want to be recognized on the street.
well, yeah, that'd be cool too, but tampoco no tanto, o sea, mi privacidad, pues, la adoro, you know, like, I
okay,
love
okay,
being,
okay.
like, a low,
But aquí no hay
But-
privacy. But you would want the podcast to
like now
to blow up. Like you want.
O sea, ahorita me está dando así como que like I see it as like not a game, but like kind of a game. Like we're on like level 1. I want to get to level 2, level 3. Like I feel like that's what I want for it now.
Imagine we get recognized one day. Like, isn't there like
the airport or something?
No, not like that. No, there's like award shows for like podcasts and stuff like that. Like that would be cool, you know, that we like reach a certain category or something and we win and we have a little trophy.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's like little award shows for podcasts or like.
So what happens if you blow up? Are you gonna not work anymore or what? What's gonna happen? Dun dun dun.
Eso está por verse. I mean, one thing about me is I like to have different things to do, you know?
Okay.
I like doing, I mean, a veces me da flojera, but I do like having different hobbies.
So you're still going to work is what you're telling me?
Well, I have to work, yeah.
But what if the podcast
What if
blows
this
up?
becomes my job? Then we'll see what's making more money.
Damn,
you know?
she's going to quit on me.
But I wouldn't if I were to ever have to quit, I would leave you like a little Sahara or something, like
a little Sahara,
a trained one that's like ready to like.
So you're gonna leave me behind?
Never. No. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if this pops off and then like
pops off? Honestly, I would never stop doing I could never stop doing what I do. You know, the office is a big part of my life. So I cannot imagine, and I'm saying this for my clients that are paranoid because they're like, I know se va a hacer famosa, ya no nos va a hacer los taxes. I'm always going to do taxes, but maybe I can have more control of like, I'm only going to work a certain amount of times. Like I don't have to break my back, you know.
So much on doing taxes.
Because right now when it's tax season, it's grind time, you know, and I have to milk it as much as I can because it's only... And I need the money. I need to survive.
It's not only during tax time. Pero que si, por ejemplo, obviously this is making you money, but let's just say we're already at the point where the podcast is making you like good money.
The same amount?
The same amount or even probably more.
Damn. I think, I don't know. That's a hard question. I would be really hard for me to quit. I'll tell you that right now. Because I love what I do.
Is that right?
I do. But maybe I just won't do it as much. Like, okay, I'll just work the normal 9 hours a day or something. Like, okay. I'm not gonna, no me voy a matar because of it.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're not there yet.
Pues, no.
Pero ahí vamos.
Pues sí, no.
Yeah.
O sea, that's where I see it. And we both have like...
We obviously want the podcast to be successful.
Yeah.
Ahora donde llegue, well, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, todo con tiempo, you know.
Maybe one day we'll be looking back at this podcast laughing because we're like, we're going to quit our jobs. And then we did quit.
And then, or like we didn't quit and we're like still doing taxes.
Stop it. This is why I was asking for sponsors the other day.
Yes.
But todo con su tiempo.
Todo con tiempo, sí.
Yes. Just so you know, I had tequila while you were gone.
Neta.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I kind of need some right now for my throat.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, from beginning to end, it's a wrap.
Is it a wrap?
Yes.
¿Sí o no?
Sí, yeah. I'm hungry.